What is going on, guys? It is a fine, super fine day here in Southwest PA, and today is an exceptionally fine, super fine day because today we are at Mercedes Motorsports in North Versailles, Pittsburgh, and they have given me access to this brand new 2025 Kawasaki Ninja ZX10RR. But before we get into all of that, I do want to say thank you to Joel and all the other staff here at Mercedes Motorsports for giving me this very unique opportunity to not go over this motorcycle, but any other vehicle they have at their lineup. Just looking out, we have Sea-Doos, side-by-sides, quads. There's a showroom right behind this wall, and there's another showroom behind that wall. So if that is something that you're interested in, link in the description. Go ahead, check them out. If there's anything that you want to see, let me know. Go to the website, let me know, and I will do my best to go over all that. I do want to say that this might be a longer video, so I will do my best to put in timestamps for you so you can kind of just skip ahead to see what you want to see. It just kind of is what it is. There's a lot of technology on this bike. There's a lot to go over on this motorcycle. It's brand new, 2025. From what I was looking at online, there's no videos on this bike yet, so hopefully this is the first. And I want to do it and do it good. I don't want to sell myself short. I don't want to sell you short. So let's get into the bike and just start off by a quick walk around. Let's just go ahead and start getting into this motorcycle and exactly what it is we are looking at. So this is a 998cc inline-4 liquid-cooled 4-stroke engine. It cranks out about 188 horsepower at 11.5 RPM with 81.7 foot-pounds of torque, again at 11.5 RPM. The whole bike only weighs 456 pounds, which is really amazing considering the fact that my 650, and again, I'm sorry to talk about a 650, weighs like 421. So this is weighing just like 30 pounds more, but with way more horsepower and torque. So that, weight to power ratio is going to be exceptionally high on this bike. Again, theme of the bike, racing. The seat height sits relatively high at 32.9 inches, so almost 33 inches. We're getting you up over that bike. Again, that racing style position. It's got a 6-speed return shift transmission with a steel chain. Nothing new, interesting there. The tires are 120/70 ZR17s in the front with a large 190/55 ZR17 in the rear. It has a large 4.5 gallon tank sitting on aluminum frame. The tank is, again, flat and wide, so it's very nice to kind of get on top of and over, and I'm sure tucking your leg on that tank would feel absolutely incredible. It has a DFI system, a digital fuel injection system with 47 millimeter throttle bodies, and it also comes with a VAI system, which we will talk about here in a second. It's exclusive to the ZX10RR, I believe. Also, it comes with a TCBI and digital advanced ignition system, so that's your traction control by ignition system. So one of the big things about this motorcycle is people are going to want to know what exactly is the difference between the ZX10 and the ZX10RR besides $12,000, and that's the difference between one letter on this bike. And that might be kind of hard to digest and swallow for a lot of people. And some people might be like, that's absolutely stupid. I'm not paying $12,000 for that. That's da-da-da-da-da. But you have to remember, again, the theme of the bike, which is track. If you are the kind of person that dailies tracks, like you are a track enthusiast, you are a competitive rider, whatever, this bike is going to be worth that extra $12,000. If you're just the kind of person who just wants to get on the bike, get on the street, get the biggest, fastest bike to ride on the street, can you do that? Absolutely, if you have the money for it. Honestly, that just comes up to you and your credit score, what you want to do if that's what you want to do. But there are some differences to the bike. Again, looking at the bike, no rear seat pegs, single bike only. Again, the tires and the rims, you get lighter Marchesini forged tires. So again, those are going to be designed to not just give you lighter weight, but to give you lighter initial inertia forces when you're coming through the turn. that is the little things that can give a motorcycle the edge, and having that can make or break milliseconds, which, speaking of milliseconds, it only takes a couple milliseconds for you to like, share, and subscribe on the video. It would help me out tremendously, so thank you in advance for that. You also get better tires. Again, we said we got the Pirelli Diallo Supercorsa SP tires. I'm not going to get involved in that. If you know, you know. They're very good, light compound tires, specifically for track. Expensive, but nice. The next thing, the next upgrades on the bike you can't visibly see, and that's because they are actual engine components, and that is where the ZX10RR price starts to go up. That and the VAI system. As far as internal engine components, which is what you're getting with this, you're going to get lighter titanium connecting rods. Now, this lighter material contributes to lower reciprocating weight, which helps the engine achieve a higher rev limit, as well as smoother climbing revs. You also get DLC, not to be confused with downloadable content, but DLC, or diamond-like carbon piston pins, which help protect from wear and tear. You also get a modified head to accommodate a modified RR-specific lift cams, which are bigger, which also come with the bike, and it comes also with stiffer valves, or stiffer valve springs, which it increases responsiveness as well as smoother operation. So we briefly talked about the VAI system. That is another huge upgrade with this bike, and it's definitely something worth talking about. So the VAI system is one of the biggest upgrades to the bike, and it fits inside the airbox, and it ties everything together. So the VAI system uses servo motors to adjust air intake funnel height. So what that's going to do, when funnels are raised, intake air is going to bypass the system, increasing high RPM performance. Again, when the funnels are raised, air bypasses the system, increasing high RPM performance. When they are lowered, air passes through the taller intake funnels for increased low to mid performance. So they're high RPMs, they're lower RPMs. Now, here's the thing, and this might be, somebody might go, Kawasaki. This is one of those things that is interesting about the bike. The VAI system comes with the bike, but it is not unlocked on the bike. In order to unlock the bike, you are going to have to upgrade the bike, and that is going to be done with a race kit, ECU and subcontroller race kit. And, that's obviously going to need a tune, which, kind of sucks. But, again, if you're buying it stock, it's fast. If you're buying it for the track, which is probably why you're going to buy it, these are the things that are going to help you win races and just help you do overall better lap times and competition or just sport. So let's get into the meat and potatoes on what makes it such an incredible machine. First things first is the chassis. Everything is built around that, so it seems like the best place to start. The 2025 ZX10RR features twin spar aluminum frame. This lightweight frame helps to reduce mass simultaneously increasing rigidity. So while increasing stiffness, it also offers subtle flexibility for better rider feedback. This combination makes the ZX10RR very stable at high speeds, but agile in cornering. So again, you're going to get all of that duality with this bike. So it's going to feel firm when accelerating hard, but you're going to feel agile whenever you're going through turns. Moving along to the front of the bike, we briefly talked about the integrated aerodynamic winglets. These are built directly into the fairings. This contributes to increased downforce at higher speeds. We already talked about that, which is going to keep that front wheel from lifting up in moments of hard acceleration. There's going to be a lot of tech to talk about as far as acceleration control, but that is like the first step to that. Moving on to the front suspension, throughout Kawasaki's history, they have always strived for man-machine connectivity. So making the bike easily tuned to the rider, that makes the motorcycle feel more specific and more personable to that person. And the way they do that is to very tunable manually and electronically suspension and just engine output and literally everything. We're about to talk about it. So the first thing is its adjustable swing arm pivot. Now this allows riders to tweak the swing arm angle, affecting how the bike is going to react under acceleration and braking. So by adjusting the pivot angle, one can change weight distribution, helping fine-tune the bike's behavior that suits different track layouts, riding styles, riding conditions, all that stuff. This feature, again, is for serious riders who want to dial in on that perfect setup for maximum track performance. The ZX10RR also comes with your new BFF, your Showa Balance free front fork. So this premium suspension system greatly enhances both stability and feedback for the rider. Unlike conventional free forks or conventional forks in general, the BFF features an exclusive dampening chamber which contributes to more constant dampening performance. This external reservoir helps in smoothing out the ride, particularly during heavy braking situations. Your new BFF also allows adjustability for the compression and rebound dampening. This means that the rider can fine-tune the suspension that suits different conditions, whether it's on the track, on the street, offering enhanced versatility and improved performance. Additionally, the front fork includes adjustable spring rate and preload, enabling even further customization to the suspension system. Moving on to the rear suspension of the bike, you have Showa Balance free rear cushion, or BFRC, light shock absorber with very intuitive horizontal backlink suspension system. This is what gets really interesting with this motorcycle, is that backlink suspension system. So unlike Kawasaki's vertical unitrack system, this situation is horizontal. So that is going to allow for more tuning and just more space in general, and really helps for mass centralization, as well as free up some space again if you're going to do an upgraded system and things like that. It's allowing you the room to put everything in the center of gravity, mass centralization, as I said, giving you and the bike that rider machine connectivity. So with the free space, larger exhaust and pre-chamber can be incorporated. Again, this allows heavy exhaust components to be situated closer to the bike's center of gravity, thus improving its handling. Another huge and rather interesting, if I may say, benefit to this configuration is that the shock unit now is further away from exhaust heat. So this prevents unwanted heat from negatively affecting suspension and thus performance, because the suspension has an oil system in it, and you're going to start changing viscosity whenever you start changing heat, right? Heat, viscosity, they are anigular, they are, combined, they work simultaneously. So that is a very interesting and ingenious way of kind of going around that system. So if we look at the rear view, the rear tire, since we're kind of already in this area, we see the 190/55 ZR17 tire with a single 220 millimeter pedal style disc with single piston aluminum caliber. Now, this is where things are going to start to get really interesting and where Kawasaki outshines the competition, in my personal opinion, and that is with technology. Not only does the motorcycle come with ABS, but it also comes with another braking system called KIBS, or Kawasaki Intelligent Anti-Lock Braking System. So basically, how this works is the ABS control unit continuously monitors wheel speed and brake pressure, right? So they're doing that by wheel speed sensors and hydraulic control valves. Hydraulic control valves are directly linked to the brake calipers themselves, to which the whole system is connected to the motorcycle's main ECU. That allows access to parameters such as throttle position, engine RPM, and also gear position. So the KIBS is a really useful tool on a bike like this because it can be optimized for high performance riders, because their braking response can be better tailored to specific conditions and specific riders. The system also improves the bike's overall stability by enhancing cornering control, as well as reduced rear wheel lift and aggressive braking. So moving to the front wheel, we talked that there is a lot going on, and there is a lot going on. We immediately see that there is a lot going on. So, of course, as we mentioned earlier, again for the third time, we see the specific rims, the Marchesne forged rims, and the Pirelli Diablo tires. They look great, but you also get these really awesome brakes in general. So these are Brembo brakes. They are a 4-piston M50 cast aluminum monoblock. So there is a lot of stopping power. And what's also interesting about that is those brakes are the highest grade mass produced brake calibers, meaning this is the best that they give you whenever you're just buying a bike. Do they got better stuff? Probably, but as of like regular street, this is the best of the best that you can get. We also see an external dampening chamber, easily adjustable, and in my opinion, it looks really aesthetically pleasing. I like the pop of the red. I just think it looks really nice. So this is just going to allow for better braking, better control of that whole suspension system. Somebody is sneezing. That's all right. So looking behind the wheel is something that's really interesting. And, you know, if you're into super sports, you already know this, but I think it's really interesting because I didn't know this because I just started learning about this, and some of my subscribers might also find this really interesting. Under the front wheel, we see an interesting feature that is, again, it's unique to super sports, and we have an air cooling system for engine oil. So the air-cooled oil cooler is very important for keeping oil at its proper temperature and thus viscosity. Again, whenever you're starting to change temperature, you're going to start changing viscosity. When you start changing viscosity, you're going to start changing how things are moving around the engine and thus parts and all that fun stuff. So that's definitely going to help with proper lubrication and engine longevity in general. So I think that is a really interesting feature. So I just want to say something real fast. If you made it to this part of the video, I would really appreciate if you could give me a like, share, and maybe subscribe. Overall, all of this work took about a week. I didn't have a lot of time to get over this, but I really enjoy it, and I would really like to know if what I'm doing is good for you and it works. If there's anything in the comments, let me know, and I'll try and tune things. I know the video is going to be long. I'm already sitting at 20-something minutes. I apologize for that, but, you know, if you know how I am and what I do, I like to go in depth. And if I'm being honest, looking at research, there was no 2025 ZX10RR, so hopefully this is the first one on YouTube. So I don't mind if it's long and all that. Okay, let's take a breath. Technology. This is where it gets fun. Just like I mentioned before, this is where Kawasaki overperforms the competition, in my opinion, and that's going to be in the technology department. Now, I'm not going to go over everything in explicit detail because the video is already 20 minutes long. What I do want to do is do another video where I kind of go over everything technology-wise to all the motorcycles here at Mercedes, and just kind of go over that technology. But what I will do is I will go over quickly kind of what the technology is and, you know, what we're seeing. So again, this is where things are going to start getting fun. So what kind of technology does this bike have? We already talked about the ABS. We already talked about the KIBS. But that's honestly just the tip of the iceberg for Rider A technology. The ZX10RR also has a launch control mode, traction control mode, sports traction control mode. It also comes with a very unique engine braking system and specialized modeling software for cornering and all that stuff called cornering management function. And we're going to get into that here in a second. Before we get into all that, I do think it's important to note that all these features are made possible by the synergy of electronic throttle valves and the ECU, as well as the integration of software mapping. So it's that intelligent engineering that's going to link the electronic systems with the mechanical systems and bring that unison all to you as the rider to give you that really, really nice rider-machine relationship. So, starting with their launch control mode, Kawasaki delivers once again race-winning technology. Their KLCM electronically measures engine output to minimize rear wheel spin when moving off the line. Now, you do need rear wheel spin when accelerating, but you don't want too much slippage, and that's kind of where the launch control mode really shines. Now, if you're the kind of person that's going to be taking these things on the street, you would probably want to shut that off if you're trying to do wheelies and other kind of shenanigans like that. But racing, you would probably most likely 100% need something like that, because that's going to give you the upper edge. So when the KLCM is activated and the clutch is pulled in, engine speed is limited to a determined speed while the throttle is being engaged. So when the clutch is released, engine speed increases, but the output of power is limited. So this helps the rear wheel spin and thus time when keeping the front wheel on the ground. The system will automatically disengage whether you hit a predetermined speed or the rider shifts into third gear. The KTRC is exactly what it sounds like. It's a form of traction control. However, the SKTRC is something that's a little more interesting, and that is the Sports Kawasaki Traction Control. The SKTRC continuously controls rear and front wheel slip by monitoring wheel slip from both tires, engine RPM, throttle position, and acceleration. It looks over all those parameters every 5 milliseconds, which is about 500 times faster than it takes you to hit the like button. So by acting before the slippage exceeds its traction limits, thus dropping in power, that can all be minimized to give you a smooth race-winning operation. The KIBS, or Kawasaki Engine Braking System, is something that is really interesting and something I didn't know about until I started doing research. And that allows the rider to modify the intensity of engine braking. This is done through the bike's electronic control unit, the ECU again, which can be adjusted by control with the interface within the TFT display. I'll show you that whenever we get into that. Riders can choose how strong they want the engine braking to be. So what's cool about this is riders can choose to have strong engine braking for aggressive deceleration, which is, that's good for twisty roads, track, and stuff like that, or minimize engine braking for smoother transitions during cornering for faster lap times. The next two pieces of technology are actually more software modeling rather than specific rider aids, but they make all the aforementioned technology possible, and that is Kawasaki's corner management function and the IMU, or Enhanced Chassis Orientation Awareness. I guess the S is silent. I'm kidding. The IMU, or Inertial Measurement Unit, is a sophisticated modeling program that gives a clear real-time picture of what the chassis is doing. So the dynamic modeling program monitors the inertia over 6 degrees of freedom and sends all that information back to the program and the rider aids, and just give you, again, theme of the track, theme of the bike, that really nice machine rider connectivity. So the KCMF monitors engine and chassis parameters throughout the entire cornering process. That's from entry to apex to exit. The KCMF combines a lot of the tech we mentioned, such as the KTRC, the SKTRC, the KLMC, the KIBS, and the KEBC. All of that is incorporated into that one function to, again, it's talking. The bike is talking to itself. The electronics are talking to the mechanics, and the mechanics are talking to the electronics, which is all going to you and allowing you, the rider, to give exactly what you are trying to get out of the bike, which is faster lap times and wins, or just a good time on the street, if that's, you know, if that's your bread and butter and that's what you want to do. Hey guys, I'm sorry, I know that was a lot. I hope I explained it well enough. Like I said, I want to do a future video where we really get into the technology and kind of break everything down, but you know, that's for another video. Again, this is not a toy, guys. This is a track-specific motorcycle. It just kind of is what it is. You know, that's why you're paying for more for what it is, because, you know, it is what it is. It's just a track-specific motorcycle, right? But this bike also does come with rider aids such as a quick shifter and cruise control, which is pretty nifty, I must say. So part of this bike comes with rider mode, and it comes with rider mode and power modes, and it's important to kind of note the difference between the two real quick. So your power mode is going to be how much power the engine is giving to the bike itself. So you have full, medium, and low. Full is full power, obviously. Low is very limited power. You also get rider mode, so you get street, track, rain, and custom. You can actually customize all of this. So then what you do, you can incorporate not only the power mode within that, you also incorporate the engine braking, and you start incorporating all that kind of technology, the KIBS, and just all that stuff that is going to allow you to fine tune that. Again, you can put this thing in track mode with full power mode. You can put it in track mode with mid power mode. You can do all of that stuff. Some of them are kind of preset, which, you know, is fine. That's not a problem. So, you know, usually it's like with sport, it's a 1F, road, a 3F, rain, 5L. So that means for the road, you're getting level 3, how much that bike is, how much traction control that bike is putting in with full mode. So it gives you that kind of safety comfort kind of situation. The rain mode, it's going to be a level 5. So a lot of interference with the bike performance and low output, which is something you're going to want to have if you were talking about something as important as riding in the rain and just safety in general. All right, guys, so this is actually my first time ever sitting on a Super Sport. I never sat on one. You guys know the channel. You guys know what I do. I have a 650. So, I mean, some of you guys might not care, but for the loyal subs that kind of follow the channel and know what I do, this is my first time ever sitting on a Super Sport. I kind of think that since it's kind of higher up that I won't be able to flat foot it, but let's just throw a leg over it. Yeah, that feels good and it looks good. So off the bat, I'm surprised, but I can actually flat foot the bike. Not all, I mean, it's definitely higher, but I can still flat foot the bike. Nice wide gas tank, perfect for that upper torso. You're getting up over the bike, your leg sitting on the pegs. You're obviously back. It is a Super Sport. Your leg is tucked nice into the gas tank, so it's going to give you that really nice unison of bike to man feel. The clip-ons are aggressive. Obviously, it is a Super Sport. But the whole cockpit looks really nice. We got the electronic Owen steering dampener. We got you know, all your preloads. The buttons are nice and tactile. Let's actually turn it on real quick, and I think we can start it, as what I've been told. So let's go ahead and fire this thing up, man. bike sounds great. Even it just being stock, it sounds really nice. It's got that really nice aggressive inline four sound. Again, nice clip-ons. It's aggressive bike. I really like the mirrors and how low they sit on the bike. Again, you're kind of getting up over that bike and you're getting that track feel. You got a direct line of sight for what's behind you. Obviously, you wouldn't be doing that on the track because you can't have mirrors on the track. But as far as regular sport riding, you most certainly can. Nice LED lights integrated in the mirrors themselves and in the rear. Just very aesthetically pleasing bike. And yeah, this was a huge plus sitting on this bike. First time ever sitting on Super Sport, guys. I mean, what an incredible bike, first and foremost, and what an incredible feeling. Yeah, I'm at a loss for words, man. You know, you guys have to like, share, and subscribe so we can get enough revenue to buy one of these things for the channel. I think that you would most certainly agree. I look great on it, and we need to get it for the channel. But that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I really do appreciate you guys watching. Again, a huge shout out to Joel and all the other staff here at Mercedes for letting me gain access to not only this bike, but everything else they have here at the dealership. Link in the description again. Shut these four ways off. Link again in the description. Check them out. If something you want to see, let me know. Email me. I'll post my TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, all that fun stuff, so you can definitely get a hold of me. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.